Alrighty, so I got the timing chain off. On top it's just a 5/8 bolt. On the bottom it just slides off. And yeah, this motor is similar to a small block Chevy, but one thing that's good about them is that this bottom timing chain gear, it literally just slides on and off. Well, it kind of clicks on and off. It's not pressed in like on a small block Chevy. So that makes maintenance on this engine a little bit easier in that aspect. I'm going to shove some paper towel down into where the oil pan is. That way I don't get no stuff in the oil, like moisture water in the oil. I'm changing the oil anyway, because now is a good opportunity to do it. I'll probably do that when I put the cam in, because I'm going to take the 5-gallon when I pull the intake off and put the new cam in. I'm just going to take the 5-gallon jug and just pour it a little bit in the heads, and of course down in the lifter valley. That'll fill up the oil perfectly, instead of trying to go through the caps and valve covers. So yeah, tomorrow I'll probably pull the intake off and probably pull the heads off, and that's it. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Y'all know the deal. And don't forget to tip your waitress. Alrighty, so it's day 2 of the truck build, and this is what I got. I got the front dress off, I got the timing cover off, the timing chain, all that. I got all the sensors, well, all the sensors I need unplugged. So what I plan on doing today is pretty much pulling the rest of it off. Pull the intake off, the valve covers, the heads, all that. Pull the camshaft out. So I think what I'm going to do first is move this harness out of the way, take off the throttle cable, and start taking out this intake. Now I don't really give a damn what happens to this intake, because it's a piece of garbage. These kegers you can modify to make them a little bit better. Inside of them, where there's well, underneath it is a big belly pan that tends to leak, and you can modify that to be better, like get a like an aluminum one and stuff like that with a thinner gasket. But inside it, if you take that belly pan off, you see where the runners are, and they're very close to that belly pan. So what you do, you shave off the runners to where they're flush to the wall and well away from the plenum plate, belly pan, whatever you want to call it. And that will actually help flow a little bit better. The later 318s like this one, well, the earlier 318s, like what the one that would be in here if it was original, has a little divider wall in there. People also take that out, but the later ones don't have that. So anyway, I gotta pull the rest of these wires off, the grounds off, and pull the fuel rail out. I'm also changing the fuel injectors. I'm going to try not to take off the fuel rail. I might have to, because I want to paint that black. Make it look a little better. But yeah. So I believe these are 13 millimeters. Let's see if I got a wrench handy. Might actually be a 1/2 inch. Might be that picky. If not, it'll be like a 12 or something like that, or 7/16. But yeah. So let me get this taken care of and get it all ready to be pulled off. Alright, see y'all in a minute. Alrighty guys, so I decided to take out the fuel rail because I want to paint it, and since I'm changing out the injectors anyway, now would be a good time. So you need a quick line disconnect tool. I got this style, but you can also get this style too. And then there's this style. This style's too big. The smallest one on there's too big, and this style would work, but I modified this to work on a different vehicle and it won't fit my application, so I just went and bought this style. I actually kind of like it because, let's say if you have a pegboard, you can literally just hang it on there like this, like you would with this style. But it also gives you plenty of leverage and everything. How to use these, you just clip it onto the fitting, you push it into connector like that, and it will unhook, hopefully. I'm gonna twist it around. Probably gonna have to use 2 hands on it, but that's how you do it. Now we'll see you guys when I'm ready to pull the intake, because there's a specific thing gotta do to that. Alright, so see you in a minute. Okay, so I got the fuel rail off. Like I said, you just push that tool into the connector and kind of twist them both and pull. The O-rings tend to get stuck in the bores where the fuel injectors go. All I did was I took a small pry bar, I got it underneath the ear and just worked it till it popped out. If you were to reuse those fuel injectors, it'd be smart to change those O-rings. So anyway, now when you put the intake on, you got to torque in a specific sequence. It's like over here, then over here, then here, here, and all that. Well, it's like that, but opposite when you take it off. So you start off here, you go here, and back there, back up front, and back in the back, and work your way to the middle. So that's how you do it. Like I said, I'm not using this intake, so if I mess up a little bit, I'm not too worried about it. The new intake, I'm definitely going to make sure I do right, because that was kind of expensive. So anyway, I'm going to start pulling these bolts out. So I'll see y'all in a bit. So I got the intake off. When you get the intake off, it's usually, especially if you got the truck used, it's usually some RTV right here. Just take very carefully, stick like a scraper or something underneath there to cut the seal, and the intake will come off easily. That's really the hardest part. Took out the distributor too, because I had access to it, and as you can see, it was leaking a lot of oil. That's probably where 90% of my oil is going. And yeah, so the intake and distributor's out. Well, I did end up breaking the stud, unfortunately, but I might be able to get that out with a pair of vice grips when I pull the heads off. If not, I have to figure something out for that. I'm going to have to take the retainer off. That way I could take the lifters out when I pull the heads off. And I could take the camshaft out. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. Let me get this retainer and stuff off. Alrighty, well, this is much later because I kind of got a little overheated because it's hot in Florida. But this is where I stopped today. Tomorrow I want to come back and do this. I'll explain a little bit more of what I did. I got the intake off, we got the lifters moved out of the way, got the camshaft halfway out. And yes, I am going to have to move the condenser out of the way. Hopefully I can actually move it out of the way without disconnecting it. And hopefully without busting the line. I got the headers halfway out, but like I said, I got a little too hot, so I stopped. Make sure when you're outside, make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids and keeping cool. If you feel yourself getting too hot, just stop. Alright, well, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Y'all know the drill, and just don't forget to tip your waitress.